One series left for the Heroes Global Championship this weekend, and it promises to be another awesome one. Gillian Dredd here for more NA games, and we have had heroes from all over the world. We have Europe and NA as always, and then it's awesome to see that Korea has started up as well this weekend.
Yeah, it's always fun. If you guys have actually never taken the time to sit down and appreciate the meta and strategies that happen in other parts of the world, obviously Korea is a great one to start, but China, don't neglect that when we get that play coming in. It's beautiful to really see the trends and ideas and thought processes happening from every part of the world. So I very much would suggest that for you guys. But yeah, it's awesome. The fact that we got Korea kicking off, they're a lot of fun to be able to watch their games.
Yeah, I can't wait to catch up on those VODs after this weekend. But now that Team 8 have taken out Gale Force Esports in the last series, let's take a look at the standings and see how it's shaken down. A clear 1, 2, 3, at least for now, in NA. Tempo Storm up at the top, 4-0, Team 8 4-1, and Gale Force Esports sitting at 3-2. Now Team Freedom could join them if they win the series.
Yeah, if they win the series, because they were able to beat Gale Force,
yes,
that is going to put them in the 3rd place position. This is, oh man, this is a moment here. Team Freedom, the team that's it's just, you know, it started from the bottom kind of story. That is insane to think that they would be able to be up in the top 3. Not just not doing poorly, they're actually thriving at HGC North America.
Yeah, they're like the assassins of the old guard of NA heroes. And let's hear from them. It's going to be B-Step versus Team Freedom.
This team is really lacking, I don't know what I'll say, the will to practice. I think they're taking it too easy. So I don't really know what to expect from them, but I do expect that my team is prepared, so I think we're gonna win this easily too.
They're definitely the team I know the least about, and I wouldn't be able to name all 5 off the top of my head. And so I think saying that means I'm not scared of them.
I think B-Step is one of the weakest rosters right now. I don't think they're very strong individual players, but I don't think that they practice enough to be good enough in the league.
Team Freedom is a team of strong Hero League players. I think it'll be an eye-opener when they play in a competitive scenario, and I really don't think that they're ready for what competition's actually gonna bring compared to Hero League, so I'm not worried about Team Freedom at all.
Caffeine. Oh, all the old pros, they're washed up now.
I think our matchup with Team Freedom definitely won't be our hardest matchup of the season. They're a very new team consisting of players who mostly were playing in the amateur scene. So this will be, their match against us will be a breaking point for them. If they can beat us, then, they deserve their spot here. But if not, they're going to see themselves in the Crucible.
There are just so many points I want to discuss.
Just lay them out. Just rapid fire. They're everywhere.
Let's start right away
with
Team Freedom. They told us they feel like North America gets a bad reputation strictly because of practice schedule. And they said they want to set the bar when it comes to how much they're practicing and how to call out. For specifically B-Step saying that they're not going to be able to stand up to Team Freedom here because they don't feel like they practice enough.
And, in fact, with the practice regimen that they've been able to, make happen, they, in fact, sit as one of the most successful teams in North America so far against a team that is yet to be able to get a win.
Yes, we will soon be seeing what the first Battleground is going to be as we head into the Battleground pool for HGC. But it is interesting to see that being said from B-Step, specifically because Team Freedom have come into every single series now that they've kind of established themselves and shown not only good practice and improvement, but the fact that they have so much emphasis in their preparation for each team that they play against. It's obvious they have clear picks in their drafts and how they play, that they study their teams so much.
Yeah, they do, and it's working out for them. B-Step here, how iDream put it, is if I can't name all 5 members of my opponents, then obviously I'm not going to be scared of them. But I can't help but feel like after this series, B-Step might have not only a little bit more respect, definitely recognize all 5 members here, as Freedom is not the underdog. B-Step, in fact, are going to be that team. Tassadar is going to be the ban. Where is Freedom going to move as we are on Towers of Doom? focus into the globals? Is it going to be a ban and adjustment to things like Falstad? Or in fact, are we going to keep it, you know, a little bit normal, if you will, with some of the more frequent bans like the Ragnaros, like the Malfurion?
This is the first time Freedom has chosen Towers of Doom. They have played it.
Oh, it's going to be
3
the
times.
juicy cheese?
I don't think it is. I think they feel like they have witnessed how B-Step has played this battleground and in fact have not won on it versus Tempo, versus Gale Force Esports, and are calling it out. This is what I mean. Team Freedom preps maybe more than any team in HGC NA, just solely based on what we see. Now, of course, every team is preparing, but the way that we see them adapt to every single series, it's evident what Freedom's doing for their preparations.
I can honestly say I don't think I've, outside of maybe Fnatic, I never really fangirled over a team as much as I am for Freedom so far. You know, Fnatic, they've had their moments. You know, they're my friends. You know, we've been close in their performance, in their play, and everything else. But, you know, Freedom right now, they've just managed to steal my heart so far. Zeratul is going to be the first pickup there for B-Step, whereas Freedom want to move. Are they going to... I would like a Falstad Malfurion. I think that's an awesome rotation. Maybe even a Dahaka. I keep saying that word and like hoping that people hear me, and then we see more Dahaka in North
He's
America.
throwing it into the oblivion.
Yeah, it's just like it's like if I
Dahaka.
will it enough, eventually it will happen. That's the technique I'm going for. I don't think that's probably the best one to be aiming for. Tychus and the Malfurion keeping it very Freedom with the Tychus value. They have had some of the highest value on Tychus out of any team. Probably the most consistent value of him up in the upper echelon of their draft. Now B-Step. Where are they going to go with this? Any thoughts? We have seen a couple of drafts with B-Step. I'm not even looking at their history right now, just purely off of, because I think B-Step has so many changes they have to make
Yes.
that even looking at their past is just, it's going to be rinse and repeat, or we're finally going to see that innovation. So things that I want is, again, going to be focused more on that global. Maybe even look to be banning one out in the secondary ban.
Before, paired with Zeratul, they added Artanis and Li Ming to their arsenal. Otherwise, Brightwing is a potential here too. This is also where they played Chromie Medivh,
Oh, yeah, that works out great.
but that was versus Tassadar. They said specifically that they like Chromie as a pick versus Tass, and Tass is off the table, ensured by B-Step. Falstad is one of the picks, Varian the next. So a little bit of global coming in for them.
I like it. The fact that Falstad was going to be picked up there. They have Zeratul too. Both have absurd control around zones, which works very well when it comes to the map. What does Freedom want to remove at this point? They have a lot of open-ended parts of their draft, so a lot of it should be put into focus probably on the support, I'm guessing, onto the side of B-Step if they are afraid of the Brightwing. Now's going to be the moment to be able to ban it out. Otherwise, maybe even, you know, just ban the Rhaegar for the burst healing that it can be able to provide. But instead, it looks like they're more concerned about the opportunity of a Jaina with that Zeratul.
Yeah, B-Step have already played Jaina before. It wasn't on this battleground specifically, but that is a wombo combo that can give nightmares to any team. Ring of Frost follow-up for Void Prison, and it's K1 Pro. One of the scariest Jaina players.
Yeah, he's pretty scary on the Jaina. He could be filling the role of the Falstad too.
That's true.
If they picked Falstad and Jaina, I'm pretty sure he would be the one on the Jaina.
Yeah, they did that before, and it was Jaina played by K1 Pro.
So what is B-Step going to be looking to remove? Again, Freedom's draft already with the Tychus Malfurion is just strong overall picks. They haven't leaned in any direction, so it's more of just B-Step has to consider what they think is going to be the most terrifying thing they can move into. Oh, I want to say it's got to be considering domination into the global. Maybe they're afraid of like a Li Ming possibly. I wouldn't be, but I can't help but feel like maybe that's going to be what they're looking towards here. Instead, it's going to be the Diablo ban out.
That seems to be a fairly consistent ban from B-Step in the second phase. Remembering drafts before, as they have banned quite a few Diablos. ETC Li Ming, 2 fast picks for Freedom, getting exactly what they want after that rotation.
Their last pick, I'm guessing, is going to be Thrall. Thrall or Artanis. I really hope it's Thrall. Really, really, really hope it's Thrall.
How much do you hope it's Thrall?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 536 million, I want it to be a Thrall.
Got it.
You know, in case you couldn't tell, that broke a couple of skills, built a few new ones, smashed those until we got to the final one, and in fact is still maxing it out. That's how much I do not want to see the Artanis. All right, so now B-Step, where they're going to be moving in here, looking for probably another backliner, maybe another melee out for them. This is, oh man, B-Step is at a loss for their draft for a long time, and you know that they're looking to, where do they make the adjustments? Where are they going to make those changes? I'm expecting, okay, Karazim and Tyrande. All in kill comp. Last pick, if I'm Freedom, I change it. I would pick Medivh.
Have we seen Freedom play Medivh before?
I don't believe we have yet, but purely based on the composition built by B-Step, it is so committed to isolating and getting a kill onto one target that Medivh is probably one of the better responses. Malfurion obviously is not going to thrive in those scenarios. Zarya and Tassadar, even though Tassadar's been banned out, neither of them can really deal with that kill potential as well. And this is one of the few strategies we've seen B-Step be very successful with.
If not a Medivh, what?
If you don't go Medivh, you have to build another tank. And no tank is going to be successful there. Like Johanna would be your best bet, purely off her passive, but then you provide little damage to the team fight. Other ones that are little, Sanctification, Tyrael. That would be the other one. I would take a Tyrael or I would go Medivh. Something to buy time, because your comp objectively is really, really strong. It's going to work out well. You just got to stop the insta-gib.
3 seconds.
What is
the
it?
choice is Thrall.
It's going to be a Thrall. At least it's not the Artanis, you know? So, now what? With the double support, insane amount of pick potential, no wave clear outside of the Falstad, though. So then if Freedom puts an insane amount of focus onto the wave clear, a lot of pressure onto the sappers, this could be a very snowbally game against them. But again, the kill potential, the threat that Tyrande is going to be able to provide is something that always has to be respected.
Yeah, they need to make sure that they are rotating correctly, efficiently, making sure that they have people who can stop that kind of pressure if it comes in, and importantly, not step out too far for anybody who is solo laning, and allow B-Step to get those kinds of picks, because that is the sole concern now for B-Step.
But even if they get those picks, as long as somewhere else on the map we see Team Freedom focus on getting the sappers, getting pressure, it still can be okay. You can lose that hero. It's just they can't do it over and over and over again and then be so reactive to the pick potential that they aren't doing anything onto the map. It's be comfortable when it comes to pressure, but again, yes, also be aware because there's pretty much one win condition now built for B-Step.
B-Step is coming for you, Team Freedom. Shadowstalk, Starfall, probably Starfall.
We saw Starfall before. I think it's going to be a Starfall. I expect Owl build purely on the delay potential, or at least having the Pierce.
Yeah, especially Pierce.
And so other than that, that's all I really expect out of the Tyrande. I do think it'll be the Starfall route. Karazim, I think, is going to be 7-sided strike, though in this scenario, I might like it compared to having Palm as the counter argument. I don't think there will be any other crazy builds by any means when it comes to this draft. But B-Step is in its own caliber, at least at this point, when it comes to the draft. So, and it's Tyrande, my favorite hero, so you know.
But it is K1 Tyrande.
That is true.
Which is pretty awesome.
They've made it work before in the past, too. They had a very controlling game where they ended up picking the Tyrande.
All right, guys. Well, before we get into the game, we want to give a huge shout-out to our observer, Brosidon, at Brosidon Hots. He has been observing this entire day, this entire HGC. We love you, Brosidon. Give him a shout-out. And let's get into game number 1 now between B-Step and Team Freedom.
And so, on the left-hand side, the team that has stolen my heart, Collusion on Malfurion. Zugrug is going to be on to the ETC. Insomnia playing the Thrall. Dansky is going to be on to the Tychus. And last is Nasmus there on the Li Ming.
And the team who hopes to stop their miracle run, it's B-Step. APM will be playing Karazim, King Caffeine on Varian. K1 Pro playing his Tyrande. iDream will be playing Zeratul, and finally McIntyre will be playing Falstad.
Sees Markman there at level 1. Tyrande's yet to be able to pick it. We see the Iron Fist for Karazim. Everyone else, in fact, is sticking to a little bit norm. Thrall going the block. A common adjustment there, going to be able to deal with the Zeratul a little bit better into the 1v1s. Also now Falstad moving into the auto attack build.
Ranger's Mark. So a full commitment here, at least initially, from Tyrande to have Hunter's Mark available whenever needed to get the pick when it happens.
Yeah, they're just going to be looking for, you know, oh, that was a 3-man raw Lunar Flare. Power Slide, knockback. Is the root in range? Nope. Loon's Grace is not yet going to be here. That being said, though, maybe in your best interest, considering that once 4 hits, that Warbringer Tyrande composition gets a lot more terrifying harass going on to Insomnia. But for now, the rotations are going to start. And B-Step's main goal is just to not get out pressured onto the map early on, and then look for kills post-4.
Yeah, the B-Step are trying to match rotations from Team Freedom, who are doing a mid-bot 4-man, keeping Thrall versus Zeratul in the top lane. And that is going to be faster for Team Freedom. You can see they're already rushing down to the bottom, but B-Step have left Karazim there. Now, Varian and Tyrande start to make a rotation down to Team Freedom, realizing time.
It does not look like that is going to be...
Or even that they care.
No, not going to be it. One thing to think about, too, if both the backliners were not picked for Freedom, another answer to this style composition for B-Step is actually just Sylvanas. Because then you're no longer worried about the minions to force issues. You just legitimately take B-Step and you're like, okay, well, we're going to disable everything and we're going to siege up. And the minute they respond to you, at all points, you just walk away because, again, B-Step has 0 wave clear outside the fall stat. Triple Shrine phase, though, it is going to be coming up. The question is, how much are we going to see this unique composition out of B-Step be able to attain? Are they going to be able to get those picks here?
B-Step have been constantly watching rotations from the mid to the bot, even trying to slow down B-Step or Team Freedom from being able to soak the minions that were pushed in the middle lane. But Nazmus made it there in time. Now, most of Team Freedom are in the bottom lane. Li Ming is being chased down by Zeratul. iDream keeping to him, but Nazmus gets away. Thrall channels one side, Falstad channels the other. Falstad has the distinct pleasure of being able to fly down if needed. However, Thrall has to run down. With Power Slide, this has kept Collusion for a long time of being able to channel the altar for free, and no kills for B-Step off of that. Team Freedom walk away with the extra altar.
In fact, it is going to be the Pierce picked up there by Tyrande to be able to try and help with the delay, but not up in time. Scouting drone going to be dropped. Sappers are now going to be connected. And if I'm B-Step, even in this situation, I look to get this pick. Like the fact that they didn't instantly invade, because even if you go blow for blow and manage to be able to pick this up, obviously Freedom's not going to be able to invade. But when it comes to contesting, getting the clear, they put way too much emphasis onto actually confirming those kills rather than being able to rid of the minions.
Yeah, the concern in seeing this type of composition from B-Step is that in the past, in HGC so far, they have leaned toward being passive as a passive team, and they have to be aggressive with this comp.
That is true, but when we did see them pick Tyrande, it fit their place. Like they played it well. They were more aggressive, and I expect them to do that in this game as well. For me, my biggest qualms with all these types of strategies, as we see one attempt of a combo there, is purely based on the fact that its win condition is so simple and so straightforward that most of the time a better team will be able to easily counter it. There's going to be a root combo here on the cap. Tyrande's Lunar Flare not going to quite be able to connect, but a very winning trade here for Freedom.
Yeah, it relies on B-Step to be able to win that one thing, but thankfully B-Step at least were using that bottom lane distraction to try to get a kill on Insomnia. It didn't work out, but it did put some damage on him. And both teams are trying to watch rotations from the other as much as they can, knowing how possible it is that either team could get a pick. We saw even that Freedom has that possibility with ETC and Malfurion follow-up and damage that Freedom has.
Especially with only having Tyrande Karazim as the support tools there for the team. Together, they may be able to match that of a traditional support, but separate, not the case. Good body blocks here. Insomnia throws out the Q. I don't think he has enough HP, though. Well, it bought a lot of time there.
It worked for him before one time. You remember that on Braxis?
Yeah, it did. And in fact, he is going to be spawning 3 seconds after the Shrine phase. There's no way there's going to be a channel for free on the side of Freedom, purely off Pierce. You always have to calculate for that. I don't think Thrall's going to be able to make this transition, but we'll see if B-Step kind of forces the issue in time.
Well, they do have Elun's Grace from Malfurion. There's Grenade. There's Li Ming spells for a long time. Nazmus with full mana. There goes Sentinel. Zogberg moving in. iDream's off the side. Dansky's keeping an eye on him. King Caffeine jumps onto Nazmus, and Cleanse has to be used there. Here comes Thrall.
Yeah, it's going to be very important for Collusion to not cleanse until Lunar Flare's midair. Because Warbringer is going to come out all the time, but that is the one he needs to stop. The Tyrande kill potential never popped Cleanse until he sees the Lunar Flare midair. That's typically not something you want to do, but again, when he is the only thing stopping their team from getting picked, it is a must-have. So Collusion there with the early Cleanse ends up costing their ETC the life, and 4 shots now over for B-Step.
But it's early, and that was one alter, so hopefully Collusion can realize the difference and make the adjustments needed for future alter phase, future altercations. B-Step now with their 2 picks, and making sure that they keep that false stat soaking is ahead in experience and use that to get the aggression going, stealing away sappers from Team Freedom.
Yeah, this is because they were able to get that control, and with that pick, they now can abuse the fact that their kill potential kind of leans over towards wave clear based on the fact that, you know, when your opponents are dead, they just can't stop you. iDream is posturing here up above. Zugrug goes in for the power side, not quite going to connect there with King Caffeine. Sapper 1 makes the touchdown. There's going to be 2-3, and now almost level 10 is going to be achieved for B-Step.
Team Freedom trying to stick together as much as they can so that they have the tools to deal with B-Step if they go for a pick, but now have to play it safe. Insomnia gets back behind the gate, and heroic abilities are here. 7-sided strike for Karzim and Starfall again for Tyrande.
Yeah, no surprise there. A lot of it is just based on their kill potential. And I often talk about when do you take Palm and how much I like Palm over the 7-sided strike. This is one of the compositions I do like moving into 7-sided again, because their win condition is purely off picks. You might as well take 7-sided, because then even it just takes any kind of Lunar Flare mark, and 7-sided strike is enough to be, you know, a double support kill combo, which is pretty much unheard of outside of these 2.
Altars are activating in a few seconds, and it'll be both in top. No heroic abilities yet for Team Freedom, and they may lose. Oh, Thrall. Okay, this is good by Insomnia. He realized that there are people off the map. McIntyre has used his flight to get up. That's going to be okay because both the altars are in the top lane, but he doesn't have the possibility of soaking in the bottom and then flying in later on.
Yeah, it's going to be, best case, a trade here for Freedom. What heroics do we see? Odin is the choice. Twilight Dream as well. Disintegrate. Stage Dive is the choice, though, for ETC. The only one with the crazy, you know, variable. Nice little buy a time there using Pierce.
I almost thought it would be Sundering.
Ooh.
But still Earthquake for Team Freedom. Yeah, just punish that backline, man.
Yeah, I agree. I talked a lot about Sundering, how much I like it. This is one of the scenarios where I would like to see it outside of some of the maps that it gains a bit more value purely on, the lack of healing and supporting. There is no Palm. Tyrande has no, you know, crazy healing for squishies. Sundering is going to be able to cripple a lot of those HPs if they end up hitting a huge combo. The only thing I really don't like is the stage dive argument. We've had this time and time again. When do you stage dive? When do you not? Anytime your opponent has a kill composition, why would you leave yourself on the other side of the map and let the easiest kill targets be the most likely to be focused here? So Zugrug has to stage dive very, very early, and it's only going to be matching a global. The only time I can see the argument otherwise if he is the only global on the game, but the fact that B-Step do have the false set, wish we had seen a mosh pit here.
Team B-Step have been so diligent in holding their lanes and soaking in them, and that's, even though, yes, it's just 3 kills extra, but they've been constantly keeping soak up in all of the lanes and putting the pressure on wherever they can. Is now, even though, yes, they're not a wave clear heavy composition, they're still able to keep pressure on and, more importantly, keep this level advantage to the point that now they have 13 talent tier ahead of Team Freedom as altars are about to activate.
Yeah, and things are going to get really hard with having Zeratul and Tyrande and Varian. I can't help but feel like this is going to be Warbringer and a taunt and a Lunar Flare. The minute anybody answers, instantly void. One person dies. Gust into 7-sided. Speaking of Gust, there's going to be a taunt instantly to Collusion. He's not going to be able to get the Twilight Dream. Dansky ends up seeing the same fate after the Starfall goes down. That's 3 people already dead. Earthquake hits, but so does Void. The wraparound is going to be real.
Lunar Flare follow-up. Zugrug may be able to get out. Insomnia too. Hunter's Mark was hit. APM's diving in. Zugrug tries to take that bait, but not quite in range to do so as APM dashed out, and instead B-Step will be content to take the altars.
Trying to figure out if there's any other tools Freedom can use to stop this pick composition on the side of B-Step. And I don't think there's any talents. Like, Li Ming doesn't have any creative talents that she has. She can make the play. Like, Illusionist, in theory, is like, well, that's cool, but if you're dead before you get the second proc off because you don't have control of your hero for about 8 seconds, that's going to be an answer. Thrall doesn't have anything, neither does ETC. Tychus has the opportunity to go into Neo Steel Coating, I believe is the name of it. And that isn't going to be able to reduce ability damage by 50% for 3 seconds, which would help with the combo, but obviously it has to be used before Varian moves in with the charge. We'll see.
Same with Ice Block.
Yeah, it's all of these tools have to be used beforehand, and he's not going to be able to pick it up there. So going with the Q build.
Back again, are McIntyre and iDream ever focused on pushing down the bell towers of Team Freedom? Slowly but surely they'll get them. The top one taking a ton of damage from Sappers, and now finally Falstad will take it out, furthering BSEP's experience damage, and now setting them up to get even more shots for the next alter phase.
This is got to be tough for Freedom. Mentally, being this far behind against, a team with a composition like their opponents, and without making the adjustment, questioning should they move into the mid Steve or somebody else into the back half of this, and the way that the game has managed to be able to play out, it's got to feel scary. They might be able to scale pretty hard there. Actually, McIntyre got interrupted, forcing the Gust, the Root, and Feral Spirit over the wall. Oh my goodness. Beautiful play, but what does it cost them? As that is going to be Dansky deleted in a 3-man Void.
Void Prison on the back, but Zugrug power slides through. So it's a 1-for-1 so far. The bigger issue is that there are 3 altars and only 3 shots for Team Freedom. So any altar that's grabbed by B-Step at this point is going to get even more shots. There's one of them over at the right-hand side. K1 Pro channels the second.
Even beyond just, this situation that was a 1-for-1 and B-Step's composition is in a position to be able to secure more shots. Anytime that this composition goes 1-for-1 and Tyrande and Varian are still the ones that are going to be surviving, it's a losing trade for Freedom, because the cooldowns burnt for the kill potential on the side of B-Step are just casual, innate part of the kit. Varian's is sitting at, like, I don't even know the shortest. It's got to be somewhere around like that 10-second mark. Tyrande's is pretty close as well, picking up her level 1 talent to be able to secure the kill potential. So they have to, whenever that combo comes in and they get a kill, there has to be at least 2 in Return of Freedom, or confirm the kill on one of those 2. Otherwise, they will just wait for their cooldowns back up and proceed to, again, get another kill on the side of B-Step.
Freedom's hoping for 16. It's almost here. There is another Sapper camp about to run in, and they would like to stop this. Root will hold one of the Sappers back. So the bell tower is saved. There's still mid to contend with. And that Owl is just going to slow down, rotating to stop this bell tower from being their opponents.
Yeah, and Insomnia and Zugrug seem to be getting a little impatient. They're going to move on to this, which means the 4 members of B-Step set their eyes now to bottom. Falstade's still soaking on top. But I don't think there's any way they can really stop this. They're just looking for 16. The stage dive is going to force right as the 16 lands. There's going to be Lunar Flare. This is the best fight they're going to get, but Power Slide not going to land.
King Caffeine's been slowed down. There's a Root off of him too. He turns around and taunts, and still King Caffeine's able to run away. Void Prison used as well as Cleanse. And Gust is another availability if B-Step still feels like this is an issue for them team fight-wise, but Team Freedom have 16. They would love to get this altar. They're running out of time. And when I say time, I mean core health.
Yeah, it's a, the only heroic available. There's going to be combo cleanses now used. Zugrug power slides right back in to his own death. 7-sided strike's going to be procced. There's going to be the Gust as well to get the split. 1 man down. Mid bell tower did convert, so that is a silver lining. There's going to be the ice block, slowly collusion. We'll see his fate though. Question is, does Insomnia as well? He does. Calf is not going to have mobility enough to use Warbringer on anybody else here. Bottom bell tower will be converted quickly by iDream, so that in fact is going to be 5 shots. Now going into the core Freedom, only 5 remaining.
2 and some level lead for B-Step. 4 of these shots will be grabbed in the top by taking out the Headless Horseman, and with both of the bell towers owned by B-Step, both of the Sapper camps up, it's going to be hard for Team Freedom to stop the escort in of one of these Sappers.
Yeah, and with Gus, it's just
Right.
Oh man, it's actually impossible if you all get hit. So we'll see if they have the tools to be able to deal with it. As the sappers on bottom are going to be captured, I expect them to invade to the left. And Freedom's best opportunity here has got to be forcing a fight around this window. The fact that they know their opponents are on the bottom half of the map, and they do not have the 20 quite yet. And a very patient B-Step is just going to transition right on out.
Wanting 20, preferring 20 over a quick kill. They know it's their game to lose at this point, so they can play the patient game. Make sure they get Storm Talents, maybe take out the top bell tower since all of the members are here, or try to get a pick off of somebody if Freedom comes up to defend.
This is interesting because they had all the time in the world knowing all members are on bottom, so they should clear this before the sapper set. I don't think they're going to, though. Only one is left. Oh, just enough. Are they going to gust? Here it is. Take a minute here. Inhale. McIntyre. Now exhale. Oh, man, he's not going to be able to hit everybody. The root's going to be used. The void as well. The sapper's slowly creeping forward, but Insomnia's got the peel. The earthquake is going to be used, and that sapper will fall. Only costs, you know, an Odin, an earthquake, a void, and a gust there.
That was even wind tunnel. A wind tunnel gust. Vigilance, the level 20 talent chosen by King Caffeine. I have not seen it, but being hit by a hero basic attack will reduce the cooldown of taunt, so further committing even more into their ability to get picks. Zugrug has had enough, power slides in. They can take out King Caffeine, they will with the Twilight Dream.
That is a beautiful silver lining. The reset instantly going to be a blow up there for Nasmus, and they are going to be able to confirm the, the Owl, gonna buy time. First couple of shots almost throughout this entire game with 2 members dead, but they've got to make more happen. They can't just get a bell tower and get this and get the bottom channel, get these first couple shots. They've got to look around the map, paint all these bell towers in the blue color, or this game is still out of reach for them. They have the opportunity to be able to get the 20, which is huge.
Yes.
That was a moment where we see them fighting back. I just can't help but feel like it was a rare one, just based on the amount of cooldowns burnt in the top lane on the side of B-Step. That being said, there were heroics traded on both sides, and it should be a moment where B-Step should thrive because heroics were used by Freedom.
Yeah, Freedom needed to know, too, that with the Sapper Cave coming back up in the top, and the fact that the bell tower is still owned by B-Step, they needed to make a rotation and make sure that, again, they don't lose hit point, the hit point that remains on their core. So they're going to slow those down, they'll take back, but B-Step has used this time to get all of their members back up. They only lost the bottom bell tower because they forced Team Freedom's hand.
You know how you win this game?
How?
Death metal. That's it. They go into
It is Freedom.
They go on to ETC, and they just death metal their heart and soul out. The problem is if their opponents expect that at all, or if it happens, worst case, and Void's not used, they can just Void off the back line, you know, wait until the CC drops, and they should be okay.
You picked Bolt.
And, in fact, you can't death metal if you don't have death metal. So that's a problem, too. That was one thing I can see them come back for a play. I'm trying, man, there's got to be something else.
Earth and Shields was the pick again for Thrall, but there's just nothing that helps from the immense damage if someone gets caught at this point. But Team Freedom are doing everything they can. They are making sure to keep bell towers in their favor. Once again, pushing in bot. They're going to get this before the Sappers, too.
Okay, I've got the answer. Now that 20's hit, this is a moment, but I don't know if Clusion's going to recognize it. The minute Warbringer comes in, he has to actually just bolt in Twilight. Like, they have to counter-engage during that momentum because he's not going to be able to peel somebody. So even after Cleanse is used, the second Warbringer comes in to confirm a kill, go in, Twilight Dream, get them weak, try and buy a little bit of time, even if it's during the Void, but you have to have some kind of counter momentum. And him channeling is not the answer.
No, King Caffeine jumps on top of him, and he turns around. He did get taunt, has Ice Block. Void Prison's been in the back. It actually knocks, the Gust knocks a lot of people back in there. There's Twilight Dream, it hits iDream. Can they take him out? They're still alive. They're still alive through all of that. Here comes the stage dive, too.
It's not going to really hit anybody, but the power slide is going to set up the nuke there after the bolt. Now the flight. McIntyre is going to bottom. Everybody is mounted up. I think the Q from Odin is going to be in range. Oh! They buy the time Freedom onto bottom. 2 people dead, though, for Freedom. It's not over yet. Insomnia's in the 1v1. Will he be able to win that? Mac gets the trade fairy and ends up going down, so 2 for 2 so far into this game. Dansky's there, is still in the Odin. Insomnia's withdrawing. He goes down now 3 for 2. B-Step has the advantage, but it is not looking pretty. Is that Q from Dansky? The nade, is it enough to confirm the power slide? He needs a follow-up damage.
The cleansing touch! Sunred's gonna die!
And the nade
It's only Dansky left. 3v2. B-Step have played this out especially well, considering the fact that they did not get the initial pick, but B-stepping their way through Towers of Doom. B-Step will take the first game.
B-Step will take the first game, and with a creative composition, a little bit of what we saw from them already, but a little bit of a different flavor. Obviously, it felt like Freedom didn't totally expect that to come into play, and then having no tools to really be, to be able to respond to it. You either got to focus on your macro so heavy they can't deal with it, or just, again, look towards something that can say no, focus on that counter initiation. It's one of the few situations where I would actually advocate for the Uther, obviously with the early Malfurion rotation, though. Very good punish, though, for B-Step.
Well, that is the benefit to having the flexibility that B-Step have. They understood the power picks that Team Freedom would be wanting to go to. We'll see if they can continue that momentum after this break.
Sombra, it's on you now.
I'm all over it.
See the full animated short at playoverwatch.com.
Everything that I do in my life is working towards getting on to the big stage of video gaming.
I don't want to get second place this year. Like, I'm going for first. I won't be happy unless we win.
My name is Andrew Rodriguez, and I go to University of Texas at Arlington.
Daniel Lee, and I go to University of Connecticut.
My name is David Young, and I go to school at University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
My name is Michael Udall, and I go to ASU.
Heroes of the Dorm is an amateur tournament focused on college teams, playing not for prize money, but for tuition.
This is my first year competing in Heroes of the Dorm. Gaming at first was just a hobby, but now it's kind of evolved into part of my life.
I grew up in Mesa, Arizona. Gaming was definitely frowned upon.
I would think, gee, what a waste of time. You guys ought to be studying algebra or anything worthwhile.
My parents used to hate when I played, but now they're like, this is so cool, you're going to Seattle for playing a video game.
Hello and welcome to the